In this Learning the Basics video, we are going to discuss tire pressure. Just like everything else in life, the little things make a difference and can save your life. Tire pressure is one of those little things that not a lot of people think about, but need to check and have knowledge of. When was the last time you checked your tire pressure? Well, it should be every time you ride. Now, I'm not going to cover every number that is on your tire in this video. That is actually going to be my next video in the series, and I'm going to cover a topic that is asked a whole lot about the Spyder community and by pretty much everyone that has a Spyder, and that is, can I use a car tire? Well, in that next video, I am going to cover that in detail, but for now, I hope you enjoy this video all about the tire pressures and how to check. The proper tire pressure can keep you safe, help with gas mileage, prolong the life of your tires, and is extremely easy to check. But do you know how to? I posted a poll for everyone to see if you know where to look for your tire pressure information for your Spyder, and here are the results. Well, other than the internet, there are 3 places that you can check for tire pressure information on your Spyder. One of them is the tire. The next one is the front area or under your seats on the RT models, and in your manual. So let's get right to it and look at the location on your tire first, as this is the easiest one to find. So when we look at the front tire, it shows that the maximum load is 218 kilograms, 481 pounds, at a recommendation tire pressure of 15 psi to 30 psi, with the minimum being 15 psi. So basically what this is telling you that this tire can only hold 481 pounds whenever it's inflated between 15 psi to 30 psi. And you do not want to go below 15 psi. Next up, let's look at the manual. I'm only going to cover the current year's model manual out when this video was created, and that will be the 2023 models. All manuals and models should have this information, but it may be on a different page than what I show if your year is different than the one currently 2023. Now, because it is the baby brother of the Spyder, I did want to show that the Ryker Rally's information is on page 92 for the 2023 models. It does show the tire pressures for the Ryker Rally Ace and then all other models, and it shows that the tire pressure sticker is on the inside of the right side service cover. For the 2023 F3 Spyder, the tire pressure location in the manual is on page 106, and it does show for limited and all other models that the front tire is 15 psi and the rear tire is 28 psi, and if you notice, they've gotten rid of the plus or minus 2. And then for the RT models, it's showing that the location of the sticker is underneath the operator's seat, and in the manual, the information on page 97. And then the front tire should be inflated to 20 psi and the rear tire being 28 psi. Again, they got rid of any plus or minus information, which just shows that they think that the recommendation for the proper inflation is exactly what it shows there. For the F3s, it's a 15 psi for the front and 28 for the rear, and for the RTs, it's 28 for the rear and 20 for the front. The last spot I'm going to cover is the front and under the seat. F3 models 2016 and up should have their tire pressure information somewhere around the front location. Your manual should speak on where it is located if your model has one. For RT models, most of the time it is located under the driver's seat. Now, if you have a Spyder F3, you should have a sticker somewhere around your front area, and if you have an RT, you will have it most likely underneath the driver's seat. What this sticker shows is a lot more accurate description for PSIs. And on the 2018 model, which is mine, I wanted to show that the sticker shows the front cold tire pressure as 15 plus or minus 2, and then the rear tire pressure should be 28 plus or minus 2. Now, what this means is that the front tire can go 15 psi would be the proper inflation. Anything above 17 psi, which would be to more than 15, would be considered overinflating, and then anything below 13 causes underinflation. And then for the rear tire, it's the same way. At 28 psi, you have the proper inflation. Anything above 30 starts to get you into the overinflation, and anything below 26 psi starts to get you to the underinflation. Now to me this is a more accurate description, and the 2 psi's really won't make a huge difference, but if you start going below that or above that, that's when you become showing signs of excessive tire wear. Now the next thing that I'm going to show is a way to check your tires for excessive wear. Now in the examples here, we show underinflation having excessive shoulder wear, overinflation having excessive inner wear, and then proper inflation would have the best tread wear across the entire tire. And it's kind of hard to notice the wear. It just looks like it's getting smaller and smaller tread. This is a good sign. Now, I'm not paid or sponsored by any type of company, so there's no certain brand that I'm going to promote or a brand that I use. I look for certain features in the tools that I use, and these 2 gauges have some features that are handy for me. The one that's shown on the top, that is a gauge that has a tube that goes to the connection, and then the gauge can be used in any location. It's very flexible, and this is what I use for the back tire because of the belt and the sprocket and everything else. It's easy to connect to the tire, get your pressure readings on the outside so you can visibly see them, and it has a little locking feature that keeps the gauge at the point of the pressure, and then whenever you pull it out, you don't have to have it connected to the tires, and you can press this little button and it resets the gauge. Now the pen tool I use just because of the size of it. It's easy to carry and does not take up a whole lot of space. So again, on the pressure gauge that has the tubing and the extension, as you can see here, it's kept the pressure of 17, and there's a little button here that when you press that, it will set it back to 0. So the only thing you have to be careful of, and I do show it in the video, is whenever you're using it, don't get tricked by an old pressure that you have. Make sure that you release that button first. Then on the pen gauge, one of the things that I like about the back of it, and some other gauges have this too, not just the pen gauges, there's a little button you see here that allows you to deflate the tire quicker instead of trying to use your finger. That way if you overinflate, you can get quickly back to the pressure that you need. But on the pen gauges, the readings are a little bit kind of aggravating, especially if you use it a whole lot. They tend to wear fairly easy, and then you end up getting a white featured number instead of the black lettering. This one's brand new, so it's real easy to read. And then as you can see here, it goes up to 50 psi. So it does have the other readings as well for European standards and whatnot. Now first, you want to make sure that you remove any caps that you have on your tires on the little pressure tubing. And on the first gauge that I'm going to use, it is the black gauge with the flexible tubing. As you notice, the pressure was already there, so I press the button to reset it. Then you take your pressure readings, use the button to reset it to 0, and take your reading again. On the pen tool, make sure that the white part is pushed all the way in, take your pressures. And as you see here, it extends out to whatever number the pressure is. So then you'll push in the little white stopper with a little white gauge, and then take your pressure readings, and you can do it as many times as you need to. Using the electric pump, this portable, this is one that I like to have with me because it's nice and small. You press the first little button that shows how much it's charged, turn it on, and then you press your settings, turn it on again, and the pump will activate. Press and hold it down to turn it off. And this one easily breaks down, so it has a nice little fitting there. So thank you for watching the Learn the Basics series, with this video being the tire pressures. If you haven't had the chance to, check out my other 2 channels, the Cali for Me travel channel, which showcases things that I've done and places to go here in Southern California. And then my newest channel is the MOABMAN music, showcasing videos and music that I've created.